solution and how I thought it was weird that people don't trust it, but I'm not seeing any reason why they don't trust it, except for the idea that they don't trust it because, you know, they tested it with their Billy Joe tester and it's different. And so therefore this is wrong. There's another thing that I read about that I do that I didn't realize people might not know about. When you people get upset because their tridents, they think it doesn't calibrate and it doesn't hold the calibration. Well, there's a couple of things going on. A trident is a delicate precision instrument, right? The trident is not your big ham-fisted hand dropping drops into a dropper. It's not that. It's got very, very thin tubing and very, very precise valves, right? And so much so that you're not supposed to change the length of the intake tubing or the effluent tubing.
Because I've heard of people doing that a lot.
Yeah, but if you don't put any back pressure on the effluent, like if you take that little tube and put it into a bigger tube, you're probably fine. If you cut the sample line, the line going from your tank to the trident, it's gonna not work right because it's getting a different volume of water than it has been built to use. Now, one of the things that the directions tell you to do when you're calibrating is to make sure, and the directions are great on Apex because you go into the tasks and it tells you what to do every step. So you see the instructions every time. If you do it that way. If you don't do it that way, well, you may be screwing it up by not realizing that you need to do this one part. And it tells you to make sure that vertically you've got your sample bottle of calibration solution. It should be within 6 inches of the height of where the intake is in your tank. And if it's not, if you just put it down on the floor and now the pump is sucking up an extra 24 inches that it wasn't sucking up when it's doing the test, it's not getting the same amounts of fluids that it expects in the same way.
These are the little things that turn into user error.
Right. And because they're complicated, they're complicated seeming, they skip a step and don't realize, oh, what would it matter if it was up 4 inches? You know,
well, and I hate to say this, but this is that thing that engineers say, RTFM, read the fucking manual.
Right. And this is not this is a precision instrument. You know, this isn't a pump with an impeller that you could stick a screwdriver in and get it to spin. This is a delicate little device.
I did that today.
When you get delicate little devices, you kind of pay attention to what they say and you do it how it's supposed to be done, right? At least that's what I do. So yeah, I just wanted to add to that. If you're calibrating and you're not putting your calibration solution near the same level as your intake, that may be why your numbers aren't what you think they should be.
Well, yeah, and what if people out there, what you were saying, were you talking about the intake suction little hose?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I don't want it that long, and they clip it, and they don't realize that you've now affect the, can I say, precision of what it's drawing?
Right.
You know, it just, again, RTFM, you know.
Yeah, you've changed everything. Now, I don't know, you know.
And then you go to the interwebs and say, this thing sucks.
Right. Right.
And your bottle's on the other side of the room and you clip the intake tube to 2 inches.
Right. Right. It's like complicated things have directions for a reason. And if you start not doing what the directions say, and then you're getting upset that the device is working differently, there's no one can help you because you've done it this weird way. And so nothing can happen. So that's Rich's tip of the day.
The devil's in the details.
Is put it at the right level. And I've never had a real issue with it. So maybe that's why.
You're one of the first ever users of it, though.
I am. And I just did what they said from the very beginning. And that's why, they've got the swap out kit. And it's like, I'm just going to swap it out. I don't want to, this is a precision instrument. I don't want to dick with it. Because if it goes wrong, I got to dick with it again.
Yeah.
So no, let them, they do it all the time. It's, I'm go for it, DIYers. I guess, what do I want to say? That I was talking about this with Telegram the other day, that I was never so happy as when I was able to buy things rather than build them for aquariums.
Oh yeah, because for the longest time, if you've been doing this for a long time, a lot of us have been built on DIY, and it's fun and everything, but sometimes you want them to just have something figured out.
Right. And when they figure it out and they tell you what to do, and then you do it differently. Like if you go, oh, well, I know it says 10 mil in my HANA checker, but I put in 12 mil. It can't make that much. It's like, yeah, you've just done, and it's the same kind of thing. It's a testing device. Supposedly they've worked out how it works. So just do what they say.
Or your refractometer, like, yeah, I didn't clean the slide before I put a new drop on it, but what does it matter? Hey, my salinity's off. Okay.
So interesting. Because this hobby, you can shoot from the hip and have great results in some areas, and some other areas you just do what they tell you. Shut up and just do what they tell you.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Shut up and do what they tell you.